Many pianists become very good at practicing but surprisingly bad at playing. They can play individual sections beautifully, yet the moment they try to perform the entire piece, everything changes. One mistake leads to another, concentration disappears, the piece suddenly feels much harder. The reason is simple. Practicing sections is not the same as practicing performance. If you want to become someone who can sit down and confidently play an entire piece, you have to train that skill directly. And today I'll show you one practice strategy that I use to develop exactly that. Now let's start with the most important and overall concept. Playing through is a separate skill. Mental concentration, for example, you can imagine that in the beginning stages when you're practicing something and learning it bar by bar, you don't have to be mentally concentrated the same way as when you have to play a whole piece through that's several minutes long and you need to keep everything together and not lose focus. Having a good physical stamina is another example. If you're playing and practicing a passage that's just a couple of bars, you're not going to be testing your physical stamina the same way as when you have to play for several minutes long and you have to prevent yourself from getting stiff, you have to remain efficient, you have to be as relaxed as possible and control everything. Recovering from mistakes, for example, is a great set of skills to have, but you're not going to be training that while you're studying a piece of music or you're just practicing a passage that's a few seconds long, because once you make the mistake, after 2 seconds the passage is finished. So you're not really training recovering from mistakes, while playing a piece through is a different world altogether. You can imagine that you have several moments where you would be doubting and making maybe a little mistake. You need to recover from that for the rest of the piece not to fall apart. So you need to know how to handle yourself and deal with these mistakes in order for you to be able to keep going. There are many more examples, of course, but you get the idea. So when you're learning a piece, you're applying certain set of skills, you're applying certain strategies, but that doesn't guarantee that once you start playing through, things are going to go well. So once you know a piece and you're already familiar or you're more advanced generally, your practice sessions should include performance practice. And that's exactly what I'm going to give you now, a great performance practice method. The first step of this strategy would be to find your performance tempo. It shouldn't be too slow and it shouldn't be too fast because you don't want things to fall apart. It should be something that you're still in control, yet you're challenged a little bit. There are many methods you can use for this, but I really like this one and I use it a lot myself. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to play a few bars in a really slow, relaxed tempo where you can feel absolutely at ease. So let's start. By the way, this is an etude by Czerny, number 30 from the Opus 740. I use these etudes sometimes to warm up and they're absolutely fantastic for learning different types of technique. So let's check now what this tempo was approximately with the metronome. So this tempo was approximately 47 beats per minute. Okay, so that's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to play slowly, then check with the metronome what the tempo was and write it down. So now we are going to write down tempo 47. Now the next step we're going to do is we're going to relax. We're going to imagine after our slow tempo what a middle tempo would feel like, and I want you to try a few bars in that middle tempo without the metronome, of course. Okay, so let's check what this tempo is. So this is approximately 68. Now immediately we're going to write this tempo down, 68. Now the next step will be very similar. I want you to again to relax, reset, imagine what a faster performance tempo would be realistic for today for you. I want you to remember something very important. It shouldn't be too fast and it shouldn't be your dream tempo. You'll get used to this the more you do it. It should be something that is just naturally a bit higher than this middle tempo. You still have to have some control while you're playing. So let's try it and see what it is, what this tempo is. Okay, so we check what this tempo is. So this is approximately 91. We are going to write this down. This is going to be our performance tempo for today, but we're not obsessing with numbers. This is just an indication for now. The reason that I say every time write the tempo down is because we want our practice to be measurable. We don't want to go by feeling. We want to go with something that we can be very objective in our decisions, in our practice decisions now and in the future. And also we can track the progress, of course, how we are doing over time. Before we continue with the video, if you'd like to go deeper, feel free to check out our course, The Mistake-Proof Pianist. It's all about learning why mistakes happen, how to approach them, and how to fix them, so you can finally feel more in control of your playing and play with much more confidence. Now let's continue with the video. And now comes the next part. We're going to be playing through, but we are not going to be doing that with the metronome. So what I want from you now is to set the metronome on, in this case, 91, and I want you to listen to this tempo and imagine the piece in this tempo. Get into the flow of this specific tempo and just try to remember it, just get into it. The reason that we're not going to play with the metronome in this practice strategy is because we want to train our inner pulse instead of someone telling us exactly what to do, like the metronome. Now, let's give it a go and try. Okay, so here we've made a mistake exactly in this bar. At some point, something is going to go wrong. That's expected, and actually that's what we want. What most people are going to do now is they're going to push past the mistake or start from the very beginning of the piece. We're not going to do neither of those things. All I want you to do now is stop once you make the mistake. What I want you to do now is I want you to find a logical musical section before the bar where you made the mistake. So it can be 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars back, 4 bars back. That doesn't matter, it has to be logical musical section. For example, I made the mistake here. I check 1 bar back how that sounds. That's in the middle of a sentence, so we are not starting there, but let's check 1 bar back, 1 bar further. As you see, that sounds more logical. So the reason we are doing that is we want to train a musical flow, understanding of how the music sounds logically, because we just don't want to start in the middle of nowhere. Now, when you have your logical section where you're going to start, I want you to drop the metronome with 5 ticks. So from 91, we're going to go to 86, this tempo, and I want you to play that section until the mistake, plus the mistake, maybe a bar extra after the mistake, in that tempo, and try to see if you can do it without mistake. So that's perfect, that works. Now we've regained control, we've checked that everything is all right, and we can continue further. Which means now we're putting back the metronome to 91, our original tempo. We're going to listen to it, hear it how it sounds. Then we're going to switch the metronome off and start from that logical musical section, again performing the piece further. Now let's imagine a different case scenario. You are playing the piece. Anyway, that's good that we're having a mistake here. Let's do the same thing. We're finding a logical musical section. So I can start either... I want to do it a little bit earlier. That will be a logical 2 bars back. That will be a logical section. We drop the tempo to 86 and we're playing it once with the metronome. Okay, so again mistake, we try again. Okay, so that doesn't work. So what do you do now? We've made mistakes. We're training performance. We don't want to stay and work on the passage. Very naturally, we're going to drop with 5 more beats the metronome. So we're going to go from 86, we're going to go to 81. Okay, so I feel much more in control now. Now it works. This is a very important scenario because it's going to happen. So we couldn't fix it in at tempo 86. I needed to drop 81, which indicates that this passage, that this spot needs more attention. In the next days, when we're planning our practice, we can actually work on that section separately. That's why writing things down is so important here, because we want, if we go by feeling now, we're not going to have clear information. Now everything is measurable. We know exactly what to do in the coming days. If you could fix most of your passages at 86, that's great. We are on the right track. If 3 passages needed to be dropped to tempo 81, that's great. You know what you need to focus on, and now you have a very clear map for your future practice. Now imagine that almost all passages, or the majority of your passages, didn't work at tempo 86, but they need to be dropped to 81 or even lower. What does that tell you? That tells you that your performance tempo of 91 isn't realistic yet. You're not ready for that tempo yet. So very naturally, in your next performance practice sessions, you can choose a lower tempo where things would work much better together. That's also interesting to realize that choosing a performance tempo is a skill in itself. And the more you train this way, the better you become at choosing your performance tempo. With this video, I don't want to only give you a great practice method that I use and that it really works so well, but I want you to help you change the way you think about mistakes. I don't want you to think of mistakes as you make a mistake and you think and you feel, oh, I've made a mistake, I failed. No, I want you to think, I made a mistake, I have information now. It's such a great feeling to have that you're in control, and when you know how to practice and what strategies to use, that when you make mistakes, you just don't feel like you're failing, but you're feeling like you're learning from them. You're gaining something from making a mistake. So I'd be very curious to hear from you back when you've tried this strategy, and tell me how you feel about it, how it works for you. Now, if you want to learn more about performing, check this video. I have no idea where, and we'll see you next week again.